Hi, my name is Melody Prophet, and we'll be talking about the ethical impact of consumerism. What is consumerism? This is an attempt by consumers to increase their influence with sellers of products and services. And this consumer driven society, this may come across personal identity, social status, and even emotional fulfillment, has often become tied to what people purchase and how they purchase. Ethical issues and consumer behavior. In this chapter, I've learned that it explains why people buy, how they make those decisions, and what influences to make those choices along with their purchases. Consumer behavior. This is based off the perspective of their behavior, talking about things such as what motivates this purchase, how this individual makes this decision, along with the business and how they market, along with designing and how they deliver these products to the consumers. Consumer society. So let's talk about the 5 characteristics of consumer society that are still used till this day. Let's talk about novelty and pleasure. Consumers may engage search for novelty of product variation along with pleasure by using and purchasing consumer products. Insatiability is the impossible feeling of being satisfied and wanting to get more and more products and making unnecessary purchases. Mental images. Consumers may create a certain image in their head that they want to keep up with, such as in today's society, we see all these influencers buying all these different products, and some people want to be just like them. You want to keep up with what's new and what are people buying, what are people doing, and how they're feeling. They create those images in their mind, and that's something that they want to fulfill by constantly purchasing and over purchasing. Let's talk about debt management. So when you're trying to keep up with today's society or what's new in today's world, along with following influencers or such as your best friend or a family member, when you keep making those purchases and you're not feeling fulfilled, that creates a lot of debt. And that is something that people really struggle with. Some people and consumers may really struggle with in today's society. Overconsumption. This is when a consumer keeps spending and spending and their power increases and they tend to purchase more than they should. The ethical impact on individuals. So this is some things that I have came across when it comes to individuals, consumers purchasing things. So how they're purchasing, they're choosing between cheap and sustainable products. They're supporting ethical businesses and not companies that they don't believe are doing right. How are they getting those resources? How are the laborers there if it's in a different country? They're balancing the personal desire along with the ethical responsibility. And here are some consequences that consumers may face, like we previously talked about, which is the main cause is debt and financial stress, along with being addicted to material possession. So consumerism has created a cycle where consumers may feel compelled to buy more, but they feel less satisfied. Ethical impact on business. So this is really important because we're talking about the sustainability of sourcing. How are we getting those products? How are they being made for consumers? And we're avoiding the manipulation of vulnerable consumers. We're creating products that last and not fail quickly. Businesses must be able to balance responsibility along with gaining those profits. When I'm thinking about this chapter and what I've learned, I want to correlate it with utilitarianism, because when I think of utilitarianism and what we talked about in the past, this is the greatest good for the greatest number. So you want to do what's good for the consumers along with making them happy, creating great products, sustainable products. This is taking the right action and produces the greatest overall happiness or benefit for the greater number of people. So let's talk about this for individuals. This should help them pick and consider the consequences by their buying habits, helping consumers purchase wisely. And as I previously explained, the long term of the product is sustainable, along with where these resources came from, supporting eco-friendly brands along with fair trade. How does this connect with businesses? Supporting ethical supply chains, buying durable rather than disposable goods, and being sure that you're choosing these products and creating better behaviors for consumers by how you create the perfect product to not fail. The Bible verse I wanted to share is Luke chapter 12, verse 15. Watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in abundance of possessions. Consumerism thrives on the beliefs that happiness comes from buying more. And God does not want us to be greedy and not have us being possessive of the materials on this earth, but rather on Him. And these are the cited resources I used. I used our book that we have for this class along with the Bible.